Caring for someone with dementia is one of the toughest journeys, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Allison Schreier, and my experience caring for my husband inspired me to create Zinnia, a therapeutic streaming service designed to support people living with dementia and reduce caregiver stress. Our research-backed videos are engaging, easy to follow, and they help ease the daily challenges like agitation and anxiety so that you can focus on connection and joy. Available by subscription on mobile and TV apps, Zinnia makes every day a little bit easier. Go to zinniatv.com and sign up for a free trial today. Use the code RESOURCE for 15% off an annual Zinnia subscription.
And welcome to this edition of Medicare Moments with your host, Toni King. It's Toni King's Medicare Moments. And by the way, we want to remind you that you can say, Alexa, play Medicare Moments with Toni King. And you know what, Toni?
It plays it?
It plays it.
That's amazing. Yeah, I didn't know that happens.
Toni, you're everywhere. That's the most important thing. You're everywhere. So welcome to today's edition of Medicare Moments. And it's one of America's top Medicare podcasts, thanks to your host there, Toni King, who is America's Medicare expert. Toni, I think folks have heard probably of something called the Texas two-step. But this is the Toni three-step, because we have 3 steps for you today that we're going to outline in this particular podcast. We think we have some very important information that you can use as you're getting ready for Medicare's annual enrollment period. Sound good?
That sounds fine with me.
So we have a question from Frank in San Antonio, Texas. This is my first Medicare annual enrollment period, and I don't know anything about this process. How do I find out which options are best for me? I have health problems and I'm concerned about making a change. Which Medicare health plan and prescription drug plan do I choose? Will I have to answer health questions to qualify? Currently, I am being bombarded by marketing material, and I would really appreciate your help, Toni. Thanks, from Frank in San Antonio, Texas.
Isn't that amazing? Everybody is being bombarded, and you're being bombarded. When I saw you today, I said, did you get your Medicare and You handbook? And you went and looked in your mailbox, and guess what? There it is.
There it is. I'm being bombarded.
It showed up.
So, Toni, are you bombarding people with Medicare information in their mailboxes?
No, I'm not.
Good.
I'm not.
Okay, good.
Because that's marketing, and that's what people need to realize. From October 15th through December 7th is Medicare's annual enrollment period. That's what's happening. Insurance companies are marketing so that they can help you make a change, whether it's going from a Medicare supplement to a Medicare Advantage plan, going from a Medicare Advantage plan to a Medicare supplement, or you got to find a new prescription drug plan. Medicare's annual enrollment period. That's what's happening.
And this is the time of year during the annual enrollment period when you can do that.
That's right. It's called AEP.
Right. Now, this, though, is Frank's first Medicare annual enrollment period. So he's starting from scratch, so to speak.
He has been on Medicare. This is his first year when he's turned 65. He's come off his company insurance, and he needs to find out, what do I do? What's most important to me? The steps we're going to talk about in Chapter 6 of my book, The Medicare Survival Guide Advanced Edition. We have a whole chapter about Medicare AEP, Medicare's enrollment period.
Okay, and people can get your book by simply going to seniorresource.com or tonisays.com. And it's Toni, ToniSays.com, Toni with an I. There you can order Toni's book. If you go to seniorresource.com, we even have more for you, because not only do we have the podcast, Medicare Moments, but Toni every week faithfully writes articles that are important in the process. And folks, I should say this. Toni started by saying that the annual enrollment period, or the AEP, is from October 15th to December 7th. But there are other things that happen throughout the year, and that's why you should really stick with us to find out if there's any changes, to find out if you have any other options.
And there are big changes this year. Medicare is making a lot of changes on prescription drugs and making a lot of changes in regards to vaccines. And a lot of it has not been released, So we can only discuss basics today. We can't discuss the specifics until after October 1st. That's by law.
So I started it off by saying that you've heard of the Texas two-step, and Toni has 3 steps that we're going to talk about today. And we'll do that right after we take this break. Don't go away.
Caring for someone with dementia is one of the toughest journeys, but you don't have to do it alone. I'm Allison Schreier, and my experience caring for my husband inspired me to create Zinnia, a therapeutic streaming service designed to support people living with dementia and reduce caregiver stress. Zinnia offers research-backed videos intentionally created for people with dementia, engaging, calming, and easy to follow. Whether you need to ease agitation, create moments of joy, or make daily routines smoother, Zinnia is here to help. Family and professional caregivers use our content to turn challenges into opportunities for connection. Accessible by subscription on mobile devices and connected TVs, Zinnia is simple to use whenever you need it. Because when caregiving feels easier, life feels better. Go to zinniatv.com and sign up for a free trial today. Use the code RESOURCE for 15% off an annual Zinnia subscription.
Welcome back to Medicare Moments. Toni King, America's Medicare expert, is your host. We're so glad you're here, and we're so glad that folks like Frank in San Antonio, Texas, take the time to send Toni questions, because Toni loves getting questions from folks, and you can always contact Toni and ask her your questions. So, Toni, step 1, we're talking about Frank here and deciding if he wants original Medicare or a Medicare Advantage plan, correct?
That's what's important. He's being bombarded right now by all this marketing material, and he wants to make sure that he's doing what's right for his health issues. So he's trying to find out if a Medicare Advantage plan could be his best option, or does he need to change his prescription drug plan? I believe from the question, Frank is on original Medicare, probably with a Medicare supplement. And he's getting bombarded by all this marketing material. He's trying to find out if a Medicare Advantage plan could be his best option, or does he need to change his prescription drug plan? The first thing that he really needs to do is talk to his doctor. If he decides he wants to change to a Medicare Advantage plan, you want to make sure that your doctor's in the network. Just because it looks good does not always mean that it's a good option for you. So he needs to talk to his doctor's office, especially with his health issues, and see what they feel is the best.
And like you say, talk to the doctor's office. And that's important because it might not be the doctor, but he has someone or she has someone in their office that can give you the information that you need, and they're Medicare specialists.
Correct. And you want to make sure that that doctor is going to be in that Advantage plan if you're deciding you want to change. There is a big difference between original Medicare, doctors call it traditional Medicare, and Medicare Advantage plans, a whole different ballgame. And you want to make sure that if you have health issues, I hate to keep going back to health issues, but you want to make sure that you know that you can use that Advantage plan if you're trying to make a change. I'm from Houston, Texas. We have MD Anderson. Sometimes MD Anderson has different situations, and you've got Medicare Advantage plans that are HMOs or PPOs.
Right.
You want to make sure that your doctor is in the network. That is very important to know that.
So you want to start by asking your doctor's office so they point you in the direction where you can get the best benefits for your medical needs.
Correct. And you got to realize that if you're changing to a Medicare Advantage plan, you use that insurance company's card. You don't use your Medicare card. You have to use that specific Medicare Advantage plan's card, not original Medicare. Original Medicare is not going to pay. Once you go from original Medicare to a Medicare Advantage plan, you're outsourced out of Medicare. People need to know the rules. And we've got all that information in the Medicare Survival Guide Advanced Edition.
And again, as Toni said, you can pick that up at seniorresource.com or tonisays.com. And get a copy today because it's really, really important that you have it. Medicare Advantage Plans, they're administered by private insurance companies, Toni?
Correct. Administered by a private insurance company. That's step number one. You want to decide if you're going to stay with original Medicare or go back to original Medicare or go with a Medicare Advantage plan. That's step number one. Step number two, you need to look at your prescription drugs. As of October 15th through December 7th, you can change your prescription drug plan or you can enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan with prescriptions. So you want to see if you're going to stay with a standalone prescription drug plan or if you want to go with a Medicare Advantage plan that has prescriptions. Realize how important prescriptions are. That can be thousands of dollars.
Right. So they are. So your Medicare Advantage plan may have its own prescription drug plan within it.
Correct.
Okay.
And we sit down at the Toni Says office, we sit down with people and help them design what plan best fits their needs. Our website is tonisays.com and my email is info at tonisays.com. You know, you're more than welcome to send questions because this is a confusing time of the year. So we've gone through step number one is try to decide if you want original Medicare or you want a Medicare Advantage plan. Step number two is to look for the right prescription drug plan. And step number three is to remember that you have from October 15th through December 7th to make a change. If you don't make a change at that time, you've got to wait till the next year to do the change. And if you miss your deadline, you've got to wait till the next year to make a change. It takes effect January 1st. It's confusing.
It is confusing, Toni, but you make it easy for people to understand. What about avoiding that penalty for your prescription drug plan, the Part D? You have to make sure you avoid that penalty, correct?
If you've never enrolled in a prescription drug plan, a lot of people don't. This is the time that you can do it, and there can be a penalty, and we discuss that in the Medicare Survival Guide Advanced Edition, how the penalty is done. It gets a little complicated trying to explain it, but you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing for you, your family, your kids, the whole 9 yards.
And your deadline is December 7th. So there's plenty of time between probably the time you're listening to this podcast and December 7th. And questions, you can call Toni, by the way, 832-519-8664, 832-519-8664. And like Toni said, you can email her info@tonisays.com. Being proactive in this area is so important so that you end up with the right plan for your needs.
And you cannot make a change until the next year. Do what's right for you. Prescription drugs are very important, and you want to make sure that you have the right Part D plan. I just want to tell you, thank you, Jim, for being here. Thank you for being part of the team and helping America understand what's going on.
Be sure to share this podcast with your friends. Wherever podcasts are, that's where you'll find Toni King. So thanks, folks, for listening to another edition of Medicare Moments. Toni?
Thank you. I just want to tell y'all, God bless you and God bless America, because we are in the best country there is.
That's it, Toni. You got it.
Okay. See you later. Y'all have a good day. In 2009, I met a gentleman who was giving wrong information about Medicare, which cost him over $10,000. After helping him, I knew that it was up to me to start advocating for America. Hi, I'm Toni King, host of Medicare Moments podcast. Join me every Wednesday as I share tips, strategies, and little-known facts I've learned over the past 20-plus years. I put Medicare into people terms, and I want to help you personalize your Medicare, because with Medicare, it's what you don't know that will hurt you. Medicare Moments is available now anywhere you listen to podcasts.